Hello guys and welcome to Employ Your Mind. On this video we will talk about debt and about the difference between the good one and the bad one. Let's get to it. There is bad debt and there is good debt. Knowing the difference between these two types of debt and doing a good use of it will help you be more free and wealthy. If you spend your whole life working to pay your debt and incurring into new debt, it will be really hard for you to reach a financial freedom. You will find yourself immersed in what Robert Kiyosaki called the rat race. This term refers to the people who have incurred into debt and spent all their time and efforts to pay those, incurring in more debt along the way. The more debt you incur, the deeper into the rat race you sink and the harder it is to get ahead. I would like to start the video talking about the bad debt. In short, we could define bad debt as the one that is only beneficial for the bank or entity that provides that loan. It is basically the debt that you pay, and I would like to show you guys an example to better understand this. As you guys know, an active is something that puts money in our pockets, and a passive is something that takes money out of our pockets. I think it is really important to remember that when you incur into debt, you become an active for the bank. You put money in their pockets. There's a few key elements to the bad debt, such as high interest rates and when the loan duration exceeds the useful life of the product. Some people might want to buy a new TV, when the current TV is working perfectly fine. These kind of loans usually have a high interest rate. On the other hand, some people go on holidays and they finance a trip on a 3-year loan, and to be paying for a holiday you can barely remember for such a long time, it can be very distressing. This is the debt we incur because of a lack of self-control and discipline. When you let go to follow your impulses and enter this dynamic of wanting something and wanting it now, these will be very costly in the long run, and by costly I mean sacrificing your financial freedom. If you really want a new TV or holidays, I strongly recommend you guys to save up for that before incurring into any debt. Within the bad debt, there is a further step down towards a financial hell, which is the toxic debt. This is a bad debt assisted by dangerous tools such as credit cards. Most credit cards work in a revolving loan system, which gives you access to a certain amount of money that you don't have, but the bank charges interest on the unpaid balance when you do not pay it off in full every month. Typical interest rates for this kind of loan can range from 10 to 29%, which is insane and can turn small loans into huge debt. Let's do a recap on the bad debt. Bad debt is the one that is acquired based on impulses and whims, has high interest rate, the loan duration exceeds the useful life of the product, and is acquired through dangerous tools such as credit cards, lenders, pawn shops. All this is bad or even toxic debt. Okay, now that we've seen what the bad debt is and how destructive it can be, we are now going to talk about the good debt. The good debt has 4 key elements. The first key is that the good debt allows you to acquire assets or actives that increase their value in time, such as properties, art, classic vehicles, things that you know that have a high chance of being worth more in the future than when you purchase them. The second key of the good debt is that it is one that has a return or that generates an income. Things like student loans or buying a house to rent it out are very good examples, because the knowledge you gain can be used to achieve your goals or get a better job. And when you rent out a house, you receive a monthly income for it. The third key is that it benefits both parts, and in some cases even third parties. With the previous example of renting out a house, the bank receives the mortgage money and interest. You receive money from renting your property, and the tenant has an affordable and flexible house to live. And lastly, the most important key of the good debt is that it generates more profit for your investments. Okay, I know that this might sound a little crazy, but this can be explained with the concept of financial gearing. To explain the concept of financial gearing, I'm going to use the following example. Imagine you want to buy a house to rent it out. You have 2 ways to pay for this house, which are paying cash for the total amount and to get a mortgage to incur into debt. The house you want is worth $100,000 and you can rent it out for $700, and in both scenarios you have $100,000 in the bank. The person who pays cash for the house hands over $100,000 to the bank, and if you multiply 700 times 12, you get an annual profitability of $8,400, or in other words, you get an 8.4% annual return for your money. And hey, let me tell you, an 8.4 annual return is really good, But let's take a look at what happens on the other scenario. The person that incurs into debt to purchase a house gets a mortgage entry of 20%, so he hands over $20,000 to the bank. The other $80,000 are financed on a 3% interest for 30 years, having a monthly mortgage payment of $379, which, deducted from the $700 you get from renting the house, it leaves you a profit of $231 monthly, generating an annual profitability of $3,852. And now, taking into consideration we have only handed over $20,000 as a mortgage entry, this represents an annual return of 19.2%, which is more than twice as much than what you would get by paying cash for the house. Now, I know this example might be oversimplified with it taking into account any external expenses in both scenarios, but I wanted to make it as clear as possible. I know you might be thinking that if you pay cash, you have no debt, or that you don't pay any interest, while if you finance, you still owe $80,000 and will end up paying $46,000 in interest. But that is a rate that is affordable since you have access to the same asset for a fraction of the price, and if you have any money left, like in this case $80,000, the complete freedom to use it the best way possible, like getting a new property or investment. To wrap this video up, let's do a little recap. Bad debt is the one you incur on a whim, benefits one party, which is the loaner, and gives you trapped into the rat race. Good debt is the one that allows you to buy asset or actives. It benefits the two parties or more, and it generates wealth. If you're thinking about incurring into any kind of debt, please guys, take all these key elements into consideration. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, recommend it to a friend, and if you would like to watch more similar videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Employ Your Mind, and activate the notification bell to not miss any new videos. Also, don't be shy and leave a comment. I would love to read anything you guys have to say. Thank you, and I will see you on the next video.